Now, I was going to make a video on Friday, but nothing has changed. We're just going sideways. We still might try to make it up to this upper trend line right here before pulling back. I'll show you both of those in the 4-hour time frame. But again, we're just going sideways the last several days here. So I wanted to wait till Saturday to make the video to see if any changes are made. So far, nothing. And have we completed the correction? Get something bigger. My guess is we're going to get something bigger. I've talked about both of those scenarios. I have all different Elliott wave counts going that I've been showing you. But again, when we got the breakout that I expected to turn off of one of these trend lines, I told you these highs could be pointing to the next high. I was of the opinion we were going to reach this trend line up here at 114,000. We stalled at this trend line, excluding the shadow, 112,000. Still had a shot at it when we came back to the 50 period, but we got that lower high. Began to get all kinds of warning signs, and I told you we were going to get another lower high. That was correct. And I flipped from bullish to bearish because signals were warning that we were going to get a lower high and we were going to get a bigger sell-off. We did. We sold off. We made a new low. Now we've bounced back up, so we'll see what happens. You have a possible bull flag here. The question now, is this correction done, or do we get a deeper Fibonacci retracement as I've been talking about? We've had a very shallow retracement. Could be done, but we need to see more evidence of that. MACD turned back up. It's back into positive territory. Do we end up getting a breakout and this is a bull flag? As we're getting the volatility, though, we are seeing the cloud turn red into the future. If we do end up selling off or bump higher to the trend line, as I've marked on the 4-hour charts, and then sell off, again, you could still come back towards the 200, the black line, the 100 period here, the pink line, or get a deeper, or get a Fibonacci retracement as I've been talking about. If we roll over on the stochastic, then we could get that. The correction may not be over yet. And again, if the stock market peaks next week, it's now moving to new highs, NASDAQ, and then now on Friday, the S&P 500. Will the stock market correct like Bitcoin has? And if it does, is Bitcoin done and it's just short-lived here and shallow retracement, or do we get something bigger and maybe a complex corrective move? I am long-term bullish on Bitcoin. I think we're going to go much, much higher. But I told you I was expecting this pullback. Right about it. But I told you I thought we were going to one of these trend lines. I was of the opinion we were going to reach this trend line. I was wrong about that. I was right about the pullback. I was right about turning down off of one of these trend lines. I was right that we're getting the sell-off. Is it done? That's the $64,000 question. Right now we're kind of going sideways here, so signals remain mixed. Actually, signals are going to turn back to bullish, either with the bullish falling wedge here breaking out, getting a bigger sell-off, and then finding a bottom, a deeper right shoulder. Watching to see which way it plays out. MACD can remain in positive territory without crossing back over, then maybe you get a break out of that pattern. We'll be looking for clues. Stock market could follow Bitcoin down, and Bitcoin could bottom ahead of the stock market, or maybe at the same time if we get another leg down. But it's possible Bitcoin has a bottom. We're looking for clues. We do get another leg down. Moon boys are going to say it's inverse head and shoulders. The people that told us that no sell-off was going to happen, and yet it has. I've warned you about that. Please support the channel with the link directly below. That allows me to be able to provide you this information. If you like the charts, you like the indicators, please let me know that by supporting the channel. These indicators have really helped me. I hope they help you. If you find that information useful, please consider partnering with me by following the link below and supporting the channel. I don't have any sponsors. I turn those offers down. I don't want to sell you stuff, but I need to hear from you in order to make this work. Anything helps. Just step up to the plate and help out. Let me know you want this information, that you like this information. I thank you for your consideration for that. Again, I got bottoming signals recently. I told you last Sunday, several of them, but got a mixed bag of signals. Some signals are bearish, some are bullish. Here we've seen bars turn back to bullish, but the cloud is still red. Line is turning back to blue. The bars are turning back to blue. We got this bottoming signal, but we're making a lower high. More to share with you, but in the video, I'll be showing you more of my amazing indicators. Do yourself a favor. Watch the video all the way through. Stuff you won't see anywhere else. You'll see things that are absolutely amazing. Signals are going sideways, very similar to what we had at the double top over here, very similar to what we had at the double bottom over here. Again, seeing signals go back and forth, back and forth. That's telling you you're going sideways. So do we get a bigger dump or do we get a breakout? If you got a breakout, you got to clear the trend line. You got to break out above the resistance zone to resume the advance. Do we have a bull flag? Maybe. Mixed signals back and forth with the bars from blue to red. Again, when we're trending down, they're going to be red. When you're trending up, they're going to be blue. Look at that reversal right off the bottom. Went up, had the top, and then we're chop and slop right now. Back and forth, back and forth. It's telling you what's going on. Actually, we'll get a trending move back up, but is the selling done? Here, signals have been bearish, trying to flip back to bullish here on the Saturday session. Again, just going sideways. Down, up, sideways. That's what I have programmed my indicators to tell me. We have a couple of possibilities. These are the two counts that I'm leaning towards, which are complex corrections, both of them. And here, May 22nd peak, we have a W, we have an X, and a Y, and the correction is over. The bottom is in with this scenario. Elliott wave of speculation. You have to validate that. It could get invalidated. We have that as marked as Y, a WXY pattern for wave 2. So wave 1 completed here. We now have wave 2. And then this scenario is showing we're now beginning wave 3. And we've got our first wave going on of wave 3. It's done here. And we're pulling back to get a higher low for wave 2. Or maybe we pop up to the trend line or just beyond it towards the resistance zone and then pull back for the wave 2 Fibonacci retracement. This scenario suggests that we got a wave 1 and we'll get a wave 2 that will give us a higher low. The bullish scenario that we've already bottomed and the correction is done and it's just a more shallow retracement. Here on the 4-hour chart, putting parameters going into positive territory. If it rolls back over, then you could get a dump. Remains positive, then maybe we pop higher and then get a pullback and it still remains positive. We'll be watching. This scenario says the bottom is in, we've had a pullback, it's been a WXY complex correction, and we're now beginning wave 3, and we're either finishing, we've either finished wave 1 or we're about to, and we'll get wave 2. That's the bullish scenario. The bearish scenario is that we peaked over here on May 22nd with wave 1, and that you have a WXY complex correction, the same as we just looked at, but it's not done. That we have a W, and that we have an X, and Y is not done. It's down here, and we have an ABC for a smaller WXY pattern, W, X, or maybe X up here, one or the other, and then we get the Y, and that completes a larger WXY, and this would take out our previous low and move us back towards Fibonacci retracements. I think this is probably more likely, but I'm open-minded to the other scenario. Looking for clues. Right now, Bitcoin's slightly higher as it's been going sideways for 4 days. And right now we're up about 0.25%. Here's I'm making the video on Saturday with just a few hours left in the trading session. Remember, the 50 is still below the 200 period moving average. Crisscrossing back and forth, telling us we're going sideways. That's what it's telling us. Again, you can clearly see that here. We're going sideways. We have a series of lower highs. Even if we pop higher above this level, you still have the resistance zone. Do we end up the path of least resistance back down and take out this level and get one more dump? If the market corrects, that very well could be the case. Could have more tariff news here or negotiations that could rattle the market. Trump terminated negotiations with Canada on Friday, and he's going to announce in the next 7 days, or now 6, he said that yesterday, he's going to announce tariff rate for Canada. They'll eventually come back to the negotiating table unless they beat everybody. They want to be the first in line to enter the recession. They'll be back to negotiate. Exactly what I told you with China. Again, everybody told me, no way China's coming to the negotiating table. They have to. Their economy's collapsing. Same thing with Canada. Either they have a choice. They get to go into recession before everybody else. They get to do it immediately, or they get to go back to the negotiating table. They're proposing this digital tax on U.S. tech companies. Trump terminated the are trying to bring that in and say, well, we won't do this if we, and trying to bring that in as part of the negotiations. And again, Trump's just telling them, hey, look, to negotiate in good faith, or I'm going to give you a tariff level, and that's what you're going to be paying. And it's probably going to be, like China, a very high level, maybe triple digits, like what we saw with China, to wake Canada up, to make them realize that they can't win a trade war with the United States. Their exports, the bulk of their exports, most of them go to the United States. It's something like 90%, 85, 90%, something like that. The States exports very little into Canada. What it does export, the tariffs are very high in Canada. Now, they have a new prime minister who's testing Trump. We'll see what happens, but this could be an issue that rattles markets. It could be an issue that rattles Bitcoin. We also have a lot of other, the extension date coming up. I think it's the 9th for the reciprocal tariffs that have been paused. So again, those that are negotiating in good faith, those will probably be renewed, but then others see other tariff news out. The Trump administration was talking about a few weeks ago. And Trump could rattle the markets. Tensions with Canada and the U.S. could rattle markets. And we're going to go much higher. The tax bill coming, will that help or hurt markets? Trying to get it signed into law, the bill passed and signed into law by July 4th. We'll see next week. Delayed, does that rattle markets? Again, initially get a sell-off, and then we rally later because of it in hopes that money moves into the market. There's still hopes of big purchases with the government purchasing Bitcoin. There's a lot of things that could give us the next leg up. I'm telling you, this is still a very, very possibility. The other scenario is just as possible. Watching for clues. Right now, you're going sideways. Now, you may not like that. Signals are turning back and forth, going from bullish to bearish because we're going sideways. They're telling me exactly what Bitcoin is doing. Okay? I may undercut this low right here, but Bitcoin doesn't care what you think. Indicators are doing their job. They're telling us Bitcoin's going sideways. Break above the resistance zone. You got to break out of that downward trend, the upper boundary of potentially a bull flag pattern. You got to break above this area right here. If you're going to have this bull flag play out, you got to break out and resume the advance and then clear the resistance zone. Can't do that, then you're going to get another leg down. It's as simple as that. I'm still long-term bullish on Bitcoin. I think we go much higher. I'm short on Bitcoin because I think we're going to get another dump. I could be completely wrong. Correction might be over if we can clear this trend line, if we can clear the resistance area here I've highlighted in pink. We'll be looking for clues. Just to draw in this bull flag with the boundaries. Again, we may still try to go higher and even try to get a breakout, but you might stall at the resistance zone. Either one of those scenarios, if you pull back and get a higher low, then we could break out. Going sideways, we're consolidating here. Do we get a resolution down or up? Even if it's up, it may not be an immediate breakout. It might be short-lived. Pop up higher and then pull back for the higher low, then break out. So we'll be watching to see how it unfolds. Quickly, my bigger Elliott wave count. If it plays out, we go towards the 100 or 200 period moving average. You could be having a move towards the 50% retracement on Bitcoin. You could be getting back below 100,000. And again, getting the wave to if the WXY is not yet done. If it's done, we got to get a breakout of the bull flag, and then we got to be able to break above the trend line, connecting these highs with this high, slightly excluding the shadow, as we've talked about. I think wave one is likely done. I've marked that here in blue with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, completing wave one, and I think we're in a complex correction that may or may not be done yet. Signals are going sideways. Some signals are bullish. Some signals are bearish. So it is unclear. If you know the future, you're one up on me because I don't. Just a trader, I look at support and resistance, and a trader that has better indicators than anybody else walking the face of the planet. Indicators are telling me we're going sideways, so there's still the risk of another drop. Let me be clear. Again, the bears are telling us that Bitcoin's days are numbered and all the rest of it. Again, Bitcoin's going to get a higher low either here or down here somewhere, and then it's going to go much higher. The rally is far from over. So do keep that in mind. I remain longer term bullish. I am short term bearish. I am short right now. Easily be stopped out of my short if we start going above the resistance zone here. If we start moving into it and clearing it, if we don't, then again, we might get that one more leg down. I think these smaller intermediate waves that I've marked here in blue are going to make up primary wave 1, and that's completed, and we're now going to get primary wave 2. That's the 2 circled right there. Here it is on the weekly chart. Once it's done, once primary wave 2 is done, then you're going to get 3, and you're going to go much higher. This is going to be a powerful move up. Then you're going to get 4 and 5, and I think that you're headed towards this trend line. When we reach this trend line, I think Bitcoin will top, and I think we'll complete the cycle top. We have at the 2021 November peak, I think you have a 3 marked there with Roman numeral blue, numeral 3 in blue. Roman numeral 4 here. It's the super cycle. I think this whole thing is 5 from the low. I think it's unfolding in 5 cycle waves. 1, 2. That's the red Roman numerals. I think the whole thing here is 3. I think we completed 4. I think we're unfolding in 5, cycle wave 5, in these 5 primary waves. I think that will complete super cycle top. Talked about this channel for a very, very long time. This is where I think we're going. Again, this trend line is my target for Bitcoin. Not a date, not a number. Trend line, whenever we reach it. Take longer to reach it, Bitcoin will go higher. Right here, I have us reaching it. This is speculation, sometime in September. This could take us up towards 180, 190,000. I think it will at least go to 150,000, 175. We may reach it sooner rather than later, but I think that this is a reasonable timeline for price. So I remain long-term bullish on Bitcoin, but up here, when we reach this trend line, whether sooner or whether later, I'm going to get very bearish on Bitcoin. I'm going to close all my long positions. I'm going to go short because, again, Bitcoin will begin to price in a coming recession. We've got a bunch of hype right now. A lot of the well-known traders are saying, oh, Bitcoin's going to reach $1 million. Trump, and you've got Michael Saylor and Tom Lee out there saying, oh, no, it's $3 million. And you got all this stuff on you. When we come up to this trend line, the whales are going to be selling into this trend line. I'm telling you got a very good chance of completing the Elliott wave count and completing a top here. Probably going to be closer to the 175, 180, 190,000 area. The more minimum target is 150, but I'm telling you, we're going to top. Whales are going to sell. People saying all the hype, this is the same stuff they said back up at the top here. They're not going to prevent the top from happening. Again, I'm a trader. I really don't care which way Bitcoin goes. I trade it long, I trade it short. I trade it back and forth. Right now, I have a short-term short position for my swing trade. For my long-term core position, I'm holding a longer-term position for multiple months. When we reach this trend line, I'll be selling that position. With that position, my core position, I'm ignoring the short-term price fluctuations. Another account, I'm trading it, playing short-term swing moves, as I've talked to you about. I get up here, I'm going to close it all out. Any long position I have, and I'm going to flip to short because I believe this trend line will be a top. Bitcoin makes beautiful channels. This channel will play out, but this is what I think is going to happen. Get up here, nobody's going to go, Bitcoin's topping. Be going, the rally's just getting started. We're going to 1 million. We're going to 10 million, or whatever they're going to be saying. Professional money, the whales, traders like me, are going to start selling. And the herd, they're going to ride this thing all the way back down, just like they did over here. They're going to ride it all the way back down. That's what the herd does. They love to drink the Kool-Aid. I'm telling you, big money, this is where they're going to be selling. This 5-leg push higher is completed, which will probably finish before the year ends and maybe by the fall here. The count right here is speculation when it finishes. Take longer, it could take shorter. Again, I don't know the future, but I do know support and resistance, and I'm telling you, this trend line is going to likely mark a top. Again, Bitcoin will soon be wrapping up the Saturday session. Does it reach this trend line, or do we start pushing back down below the 50-period moving average? I'm looking at these Fibonacci retracements. Again, near the 200-period moving averages are 38.2, our 50% retracement. Below the 50 or below the 200, below the 100-period moving average. Here's our double bottom confirmation line and our 61.8 Fibonacci just below that. So again, do we end up getting another leg down? We have a bull flag on our hands with a more shallow retracement. We'll be looking for clues. Bitcoin is going sideways. Bars are going from blue to red to blue to red. A lower high, lower low, possibly another lower high, unless we can break out of a bull flag. No topping signals over here, no signs of that. Could this be premature, as we had back at the December peak when we got an early warning sign? We bounced off the support zone, a reversal there, but bars have been going back and forth. And look right here, we're going sideways. Do you see? This is showing the trend is neutral, very similar to what we had here just before the top. And then we came down and we got a double top pattern that gave us this sell-off. Formed a double bottom pattern at the bottom. The signals are doing their job. They're telling you we're going sideways. You may not like that. You may be frustrated with that. You may want a bigger sell-off if you're short, or you may want it to continue the advance if you're long. Coin doesn't care what you want. It's telling you the information. Your job and my job to figure out, is this a consolidation with the bull flag and we're going to break out to the upside? Or is this a topping process that's going to give us a bigger, deeper retracement? That's your job. That's my job to try to figure that out. Once Bitcoin has bottomed, if this is it or we get another leg down, it's going to go much higher. Signals were very clear at the bottom, giving us bottoming signals. I talked about them at the time. Here, not so clear. We did get some topping signals over here, not on everything. On sideways, and we've had chop, but we're showing a neutral trend right here. If we start getting another leg down, the bars start flipping back to red here, you can get the deeper sell-off. Be looking for clues. Right now, the signals are telling you Bitcoin's going sideways. Now here, Bitcoin lost the ribbon. It's still below the ribbon. If it gets back above it, we've got to clear the resistance zone, get it back above the ribbon, clear the resistance zone, and break out of the bull flag pattern, the potential bull flag, in order to resume the advance. Get rejection here at the low end of the ribbon, or move up to the upper boundary of the ribbon and get rejection like we did over here at the January top, then bars are going to stay red. We're at risk of going lower or just getting rejection right here and now. December, we have blue bars all the way up. Lost the ribbon. Saw bars flip back to red. Tried to flip it over here in January. Couldn't do it. Red bars all the way down until we bottomed out. We saw the bottoming signals show up first, and then we flipped to the blue bars, and the bars turned to blue up until we got that lower high that I talked about. We have a series of lower highs, and that gave us the lower low. So the risk is signals remain bearish here, and we go much lower. Signals can flip back to bullish. Then we can bottom out, get a breakout, and resume the advance. Right now, signals are mixed, but here, looking at the bigger swing move, right now, it's still bearish. That tells me we're going down further or we're going sideways. I told you on social media, Charting Prodigy, at Charting Prodigy on X, I told you that getting bottoming signals last Sunday. I told you in the video on Monday morning about those signals. I've designed my signals to tell me when momentum is about to turn. A very good job. Sometimes the shift in momentum marks tops and bottoms. Recently, our top was marked with a shift in momentum. These just created pullbacks. Here, it marked a bottom. Over here, it marked these tops. We dropped below this previous low, but then we got back above these levels. If we're going to get a bigger drop, you got to lose the orange line, you got to lose the purple line if you're going to come back and try to take this level out. I told you right here on Sunday when I made the post on X and when I made the video on Monday morning, I told you this could either be a bottom or it could just be a counter trend rally. I told you I thought it was probably a counter trend rally going back to the 50 or overthrowing the 50. So far that's been the case. I could be completely wrong on that. Again, I'm open-minded to the correction being done with a WXY and it being done I have to see evidence of that, and I don't see evidence of it, the correction being done yet. Got to get a breakout, got to clear the resistance zone. Start to sell off, I get another sell signal, then again, we could get another leg down. We don't have to get another sell signal, but we could. Signals do an excellent job of telling me where we might see a pullback or reversal, where prices might start rising or falling. I got several bottoming signals on that Sunday when I warned you in the video on Monday and warned you on X on Sunday evening right after the close. So again, is this a bottom or is this to counter trend? No topping signal up here or over here. Have to get it, but oftentimes you do. Again, we got it at the very bottom. We got it at the top over here in December and January. Signals don't always show tops and bottoms. And I've programmed indicator to tell me where a change in momentum might be. It was correct here. My indicators don't tell me if it's going to be a counter trend or a major bottom. Signals are going back and forth. You can clearly see here on us we're going sideways, back and forth, and the trend is neutral. I have some signals that are bearish, some signals that are bullish. They're all saying the same thing, that we're going sideways. Same thing here. I got a topping signal at the top. Okay, got a bottoming signal at the bottom. These other topping signals over here. I got one here, but it was the day after. I warned you about this when I was making the video and in my Sunday post. Seeing momentum try to turn back to bullish. Trend is still bearish. So again, you've got mixed signals. The bulls and bears are fighting it out for control. And amazing bottoming signals, but it doesn't tell me. Is it a major bottom or is it just a bounce? Doesn't tell me. I told you at the top over here. It doesn't tell me. Is that the top? Which it was. Just a small pullback like some of these other smaller pullbacks. And looking for clues. Signals back and forth, back and forth. Right now, some are bullish, others are bearish. You got to clear that resistance zone. If the bulls are going to win, you got to get rejection at it. Take out this low if the bears are going to win. Selling isn't over. I create my own indicators, and I've programmed them to tell me if we're going in an uptrend or a downtrend. Downtrend over here. Oops, too big. Downtrend, uptrend. Well, right now it's telling me we're going sideways. Indicators are doing their job. May not like that we're going sideways, but they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're telling you we're going sideways. Here, momentum's bullish. The trend is still bearish. Still got the red cloud. Here, back and forth, currently bullish. The signals all got to turn bullish and then remain that way if we're done with the correction, and we got to get a breakout and clear the resistance zone if we're done with the correction. We just got more of a shallow retracement.